This video is presented by the EA Creator Network, and today I am building in Henford for a shell challenge hosted by KQHeartX over on Instagram. I had seen this challenge a little while ago, and I thought it would be nice to be able to do a Hobbit house without having to make one myself because the shell is already there and it is like the perfect size. And I was like, you know what? I can make some time to remember to do the shell challenge because sometimes I save shell challenges and then I forget about them after a little while. But I was like, okay, this one's due July 28th. I can make sure I have it done. And so I have it done today. It is due today. And I've seen some really cute entries on the gallery using the hashtag that she had. It is hashtag KHXShell. So if you want to see other people's entries, you can check them out there. Or if you want to just use the shell to make something, it is past the due date at this point, but shell challenges are always kind of there if you just want to download it and make your own thing with it. It is very small, so it's not as intimidating to pick up if you did want to do it, which is also why I was actually able to commit to the shell challenge because it is so tiny. You could see the interior right there. It is just one room, and I was just seeing if I could maybe put like open windows or glass or archways leading into the other part of the house where the roof pieces are, but it like goes into the terrain, so it looked a little bit weird. I use a lot of flowers from the Romantic Garden stuff pack, and I really love how they look, and I love the shades of purple in the landscape. I end up changing the lighting outside to a soft purple hue, so it looks very magical and pretty at night. And I did recently buy this kit that has like the waterfalls and stuff, and I actually haven't gotten around to using these items yet. So this is my first time even using these fountains in a build, and I just took them and I layered them like all over the place in the front to create a much larger waterfall look, because like there is a waterfall in live edit but I can never find it, and I think it is pretty large. And I was like, you know what, I don't need to go looking for that. I could use these ones, and I feel like it worked out really nicely and it looks really pretty when you're in like the game view, and it's kind of the main feature of the landscape, which has multiple tiers towards the front. There is a section that just has like a tree and some other flowers, but on top I do a small pond kind of to give another water source that is connecting this waterfall from this pond to the one above. And there is a pathway that leads around the back of it where the bathroom is, because the bathroom is outside. I decided to just embrace the whole like outdoor living features of Enchanted by Nature. And I was like, I don't have anywhere else to put a bathroom in this shell, so I might as well just throw it outside. And I use the bar sculpture sort of as the backdrop for the bathroom. And I tried to give the toilet a little bit of privacy anyway with some flowers. It wasn't functional, so I had to move the flowers even more, which made the toilet like more visible, but I needed it to be functional instead of just covering it with flowers. And I'm sure I could have went through and like picked some stuff that had no grid print of it, because your Sims could just walk right through that. But I didn't think of it at the time. But yeah, this part is me making the small pond at the top. I put a dock up here with maybe just a place to sit, but it could be a nice, like, I was gonna say an eating area, but you have to walk through the bathroom to get up here, so maybe not. Maybe it's just for sitting and swimming. I don't think you could actually swim in ponds, but you can bathe in them. And at least the one down here, I made sure was smoothed out so a sim could take a bath over there. I did upload it to the gallery already, so if the top can't do that, I can't really fix it because it's already uploaded at this point. But if you do want your sims to be able to bathe in it, You need just a little shallow spot off to the side in one of the areas for them to actually be able to use it. But for this landscaping, I was just using a lot of tool mod to click in to place some of these bushes. And for some reason, I almost never do it this way. I always like manually type in the numbers to lower it down, which you had just seen me do, which like in some areas you have to do it, but like I don't know why I just never click to place the bushes somewhere where I want them to be because it goes so much quicker. And while I was doing it, I was like, oh my God, I was going to manually lower these down like over and over again. And I was pretty much just trying to fill in the gaps where the rocks and the terrain was to make it look a little bit more natural. I feel like it does kind of look like an amusement park waterfall, but that's just what it's gonna look like. I don't have control over that. And I do think it looks nice though. I haven't used these rocks before, so it's like nice to actually get some use out of them because I don't do pools ever, which is also why I never got that kit. So I was like, I'm not gonna make a patio with pools and stuff, but I've actually gotten a lot of use out of it since. And you could see me trying to form the back like pathway that leads towards this other pond, and the bathroom ends up being here, and I needed to fill in this gap space that you could kind of see between the wall and the terrain itself. And so I fill it in with some rocks and some grass just to make it look a little bit more natural and like seamless so it doesn't look completely messy when you're viewing it from back here. I think the back of the build looks great. I really like how it turned out. And I always kind of struggle with landscaping and using like taller terrain on smaller lots like this because this is like pretty much a standard lot size, but I always go more for ones that are like 30 by 30 or like 40 by 30. And I'm pretty sure this is like a 30 by 20, and the 20 squares makes it a little bit difficult to blend in steep terrain usually. So I was really happy with how it did turn out, and I didn't think I could take on a whole large lot for this, so it was nice that it was able to work with the smaller lot. And it seems like the perfect home to do some of the Enchanted by Nature gameplay because it has like places for you to live outside, but there's also indoor space too. I didn't put like an apothecary table in, but those sorts of items you could really put anywhere. That could also maybe go up top on the little dock area. That could be cute to have an apothecary table up there and like some potion bottles around, and maybe like mixing some Realm of Magic stuff over there could be really cute. I was also really liking sizing up these flowers, so like look the taller ones. I also sized up the smaller ones too. They're both from Romantic Garden stuff, which for the longest time, like years ago, I didn't really want the stuff packs. I was like, I'm not gonna landscape because at that point too, landscaping was like my least favorite part of building, where now it's my favorite part. So a lot has changed. This was like way before 2020, and I just like was never going to buy that stuff pack until I'd seen my friend using the monkey bars that came in it. I was like, "Oh, I guess I need it." Then now these are my go-to flowers, even like a lot recently. I have another build that I started today that uses these flowers, and it looks really nice. It's for my own gameplay save that I've been playing for the past, well, I was gonna say month. Oh, well, it's since Enchanted by Nature came out. So I guess like a few weeks now at this point. And if you bought Enchanted by Nature, I'd love to hear how you've been enjoying it and if you're still doing like fairy magical gameplay. I bet like some people probably just got like tired of it after like a couple weeks. I'm still doing it. Like I have a whole household with a bunch of fairies, and my sim has like the apothecary table, and he's like the one so that is always making the cures for the ailments, which like I guess I'm lucky because my sims don't get ailments way too much, and I've heard a lot of people having ailments like all the time. Luckily, there is going to be a fix for it. I had seen that The Sims tweeted that they were reducing the like how often ailments affect your Sims, and so that should probably be out this week as I'm recording this. But now we're on the inside of the build, and it is just one room, so it's gonna go by pretty quickly. And I put some of the string lights from Business and Hobbies in the build because I really like how they look and how you could piece them together. I don't have like too many items that I lean towards from that expansion pack, but this is one of them. And I did make a sort of like canopy bed using the canopy from Enchanted by Nature because we didn't get a single bed, which is unfortunate. And so I placed these together and I was like, oh, I guess you could just turn any bed into like an Enchanted by Nature themed bed. And it is functional. I was worried that maybe the middle canopy would make it not functional, but it was all okay. It all worked in the end. I play tested everything, so I think everything works, and like at least the bathroom works. I had to smooth out the terrain a little bit. I did change this corner piece of the counter to a regular counter because when I went back into this build after like a week, I was like, oh, I don't like how this looks. So I changed that out. I also had a little bit more clutter, I think, and some more stuff on the walls that I didn't record, but you might be able to see in the screenshots. It's not like that big of a deal to have like it not record it, but it's just like a few items. But I really like the inside of the build. I feel like it's very cozy and could be nice for some like craft type activities. I didn't put anything in here, but like the cross stitch stuff, like the knitting stuff. I don't know what other crafting things that are small that could kind of fit in here. I mean, you could probably fit an easel in. I was gonna say, I was like, oh, the pottery stuff, but I think that's too big to fit around here. I mean, you could definitely like move the TV, like delete the TV, or like not have that giant bookcase over there. I really realized that in my own gameplay, because I haven't done gameplay in so long, so that like consistently for like many hours. Um, my Sims don't really watch TV, and it's like when they need their fun, I always like click on the chess table, which sometimes they can't use if they're like tense or something. I forgot what it is, but I know that they can't use it all the time, but most of the time I just have them play chess for fun. And like now I have a stereo in one of my Sims rooms and they just go off and they dance without me really having to tell them to go and do entertaining things. And I never really put TVs in my builds, and I was like, I feel like most people probably want a TV in their build. And while I was playing, I was like, oh, I guess I really don't use a TV as often as I thought that I would use a TV in the game. But there's a TV in this one anyway, but it's the one from Basement Treasure, so it gives like almost no fun at all. And I decided to do a cobblestone pathway. I usually do dirt paths in my builds, but I felt like stone for this one would look really magical and I think would pop really nicely with all of the purple flowers around. So I did that. I made it like a winding path so that it looked a little bit interesting. I put lots of different plants around and flowers. I put some planter boxes here and there. I think I squeezed in a picnic table down here, and I was maybe gonna do a beehive. I think I did put a beehive in because I was like, oh, this would look kind of cute over here. But I used mostly just purple flowers around the entire place of different heights just to like balance out the landscape. I was trying my best to make the house look like it was part of the sloping terrain and also like that the flowers growing on top of the roof looked like it was growing from the roof onto like the ground around it. That's at least what I was trying to accomplish with this and why I had to like fill in all the gaps in the back because you can't have the terrain like right up against the house, which I think is what always kind of like prevented me from trying the sort of Hobbit house style before, because I was like, I don't know how I would actually make it look like it's built into the terrain, but I've learned over time how to be more comfortable with the terrain tool, and so it was a lot easier this time and not very intimidating like it used to be. Because in the past, I have started like steep terrain builds on a small lot, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to figure it out. And then I abandon it completely, and then I never return back to it. But I think that the base game grass is really helpful with some of the rocks, because usually I just use rocks, but you just put a bunch of grass up a steep slope, it still looks really good. And now I'm just doing the finishing touches of the build. I'm adding some rugs inside and some more stuff on the walls. I feel like I always go for the Empress on the tarot stuff. I don't know, I just really like the Empress card and I feel like the art is really beautiful for it too. So I always go for that one. I still am wishing for an official Sims tarot deck. I don't know if we'd get one because I feel like if they were going to do it, they would have done it when Life and Death came out. But the art is so pretty. I really wish that we got a full deck for it. And now I'm just like putting in some of the lights for this. And I changed the lights to a purple hue mostly because I like the glowing sculpture in the background, and I felt like if everything was lit up a soft purple, it would make sense and make this look like a magical part of Hanford on Bagley. I don't know if I actually show me changing it to purple. I might. I was a little bit worried about this hill back here and if it was going to be functional. It was fine. There's no problems with that. The only part that wasn't really working was the toilet, but I had to just move some of the stuff over. I don't think I show the purple lights because I just put in some holes in the walls. But as always, thank you so much for watching this far into my videos. And if you are ever planning on buying a Sims pack or a game off of the EA app, I do have a creator code that directly supports me. If you would like to use it, it is not a discount code, but I do receive a small commission from it. I realized that you couldn't see the lighting because when I have my G shade turned on, it does just look regular, but if you go in without G shade, you can see just the soft purple hue, especially on like the flowers area. It really just like helps it to glow, and I think it like blends in well with that backdrop. Some on the roof too. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.